Your name, how old are you, and what grade are you in?
So I'm Nayanika Kishore. I'm in grade 11 and I'm 17 years old.
Okay. What are some of the difficulties you have faced as a teenager?
I think myself, I have faced a lot of self-esteem issues, and I think even like peer pressure because living in a boarding school, you're always surrounded by people your own age, and there's
Yeah.
always things on, and like there's no outsider you can turn to for advice because you're literally living among your peers. So there's like a lot of unsaid pressure over there and a lot of said pressure too. So I think that's one of the big things. And self-esteem is obviously something in the background, but I think family-related problems are also one of the bigger issues because, like I said again, being in a boarding school, you're always away from your home. So the people you surround yourself with normally they have things going on back home, which is maybe one of the reasons they're in that school or something like that. And then when they go back home, they're back in that environment, and especially because of COVID and quarantine and being stuck at home for 11 months instead of literally being away from it, it's just become so much worse, and it's heightened to the point where they've become numb to it, even some people I know. And I think family related problems, they like resonate a lot with us because we're at an age where we're very impressionable because everything around us and everyone around us just makes us who we are, right? We don't really know who we are ourselves. So the people we're surrounded with, they end up becoming the people we look to in our role models. And then if our families are the are the people who they are, and there are a lot of issues going on with them, then you don't really know what to do or how to act or who to be. So you just turn to other things and don't know what you're doing at the end of the day.
That makes so much sense. Okay. What are some of the things you wish you had known 2 years ago?
I think I wish I had known that a lot of the things that like really mattered to me at that time don't really matter as much. Like the whole thing of, how does this look right now? Or like, will everybody be looking at me right now? Like, honestly, nobody's looking at you. You're the only one who's thinking of that. I mean, you're in a school where everyone is constantly thinking, is everyone looking at me? But no one's actually looking at anyone else but themselves. So literally just like I would tell myself to like do what I want, because I used to like hold back so much. Not even like it's not even like big things that I would hold back on, like just like some joke I might have said, or like something I might have stood up for, or like a play I might have done. Like I was constantly like trying to put myself in a place where I was looking from someone else's point of view instead of like looking at it from my own point of view. And I could have done so many other things if I just taken that small step or big step.
Yeah. Okay. Could you tell me off the top of your head what are some things you might tell your child in the future just to, get ready to prepare for these, like important years in their life?
I think something I would tell my child is that, no matter the kind of people you surround yourself with, whatever they're doing, it doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. You can also be a part of a friend group who's doing something totally different and not do it and still have them be your friends. Being a part of a friend group doesn't mean you're a part of a cult. It doesn't mean all of you have to do the same thing every day with each other.
Yeah.
You can have your individual lives and your individual things on the side and still be there for each other at the end of the day. That's what it means. So like I think because like I said, there's so much like pressure around doing the same thing and being the same person. It's almost like everyone's like a robot and they're just like constantly analyzing everyone and analyzing themselves and like making sure they're doing the exact thing. But like it's okay to like not do the same thing as everyone else, because it makes you who you are at the end of the day. You can say so many different things then. It's not like generic at all. You'll have different stories to tell at the end of the day.
Okay. What is mental health to you or like for you in your simplest words?
I think it's like just like physical health. People make this whole hoo-ha about mental health, mental well-being, this, that, about how it's like so unknown and how people don't know anything about it. But it's as simple as your physical health. You eat healthy, you take care of your body, you brush every day, you take a shower every day. That's the same thing. You're taking care of your body. There are so many simple tasks like that for your mental health. As simple as writing in a diary or talking to a friend or just talking to anybody about what you're feeling, what you're going through. Even if you're not feeling anything or going through anything, just having a light conversation to like distract you from maybe what's going on at home or anything. Just that kind of openness and that kind of a surrounding where you can have that even if you don't want to have it is what I think is obviously good for your mental health. And like I said, it's as simple as physical health or emotional health or anything. You just have to take care of it yourself, because no matter how much you look towards others to be better, as long as you don't do it for yourself, then nobody else is going to do it for you.
That's an interesting outlook. Not heard that one before. Okay. Were you ever in a really difficult time in your teenage years? If yes, what helped or is helping you motivate yourself to become happier?
I don't think I've been in an extremely difficult position myself. Touch wood, maybe not yet, or really not. I won't be. But like I said, I try to make it better for myself. I'm constantly trying to talk about how I'm feeling or what's making, if I'm feeling off one day and I don't want to talk to anyone at all, and I'm just in a really bad mood and really feeling low, and then someone asks me why are you like this, and I'm very irritable. They know that I'm maybe not in that position to talk, but I have to push myself to tell them that I'm not feeling it right now, but I'll talk to you later. Because it's not like I want to make it worse for them either, because I don't want them to feel like they're the reason I'm like this or anything. And when I do that, I myself know in my subconscious that I will be okay. Because if I'm telling them that I'll talk to you later about this, I know that later I'll be fine, right? Yeah. So I know that it's in that moment when I'm feeling bad. So that also helps me get through it faster. But honestly, I don't think I've been in too bad a place to give you an answer.
Genuinely touch wood. Okay. Okay, if you recall, what did you think being a teenager was going to be like when you were younger?
Oh my god. Okay, so I have an elder sister who's 4.5 years, 5 years older than me, and she's really different from who I am. Okay, so when I was 11, 12 years old, or even 10 years old, I used to think oh my god, is this how I'm going to be? And she was also in a very different school environment, a very party school environment. So I thought that I'm just going to be out every day with a lot of people and not really caring about my studies, and I'm going to be all grown up and my parents can't tell me what to do and I'll have my own say in everything. Just all these unrealistic expectations. And then I get shipped off to boarding school and I'm just this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then COVID happens and I'm stuck at home without any of that, and my parents tell me what to do. So
also because it's brown family, Punjabi family, so
definitely definitely because of that.
Whole other ball game.
No.
Okay. How do you think your relationship with your siblings or parents can affect your mental health?
I think it has a very big impact on your mental health, because I come from a family where we try to be very open with each other, to the point where it has some things said which should not be said, also to the point where people can get hurt, and it's just overly open to some point. But I think that's also made me very understanding to a certain extent, because like I said, my sister's very different than who I am, and so is my brother, and so are my parents. So hearing them talk about what they're going through and letting them hear what I'm going through, and just being able to have that kind of a conversation on the dining table or in the living room or anything, just has made me so much more open to the idea of taking care of my mental health, compared to closed off about it or not even knowing what it is or anything. And also having my parents being doctors, are very scientific about everything. So they just go into the science of everything, right? So I've become a very logical person that way. And it's just in my mind, if I'm feeling something and if someone's doing something which I don't like, I just tell it to them, whether it's good or bad, if it hurts me, if it hurts them. That's my logic, because that's how I've grown up. And I think that if you grow up in an environment which is very aggressive and sweeping everything under the carpet kind of a place, you're obviously not going to have that kind of a mentality, because you're not going to know how to handle those situations. Because your entire life, everything bad that's happened has just been suddenly disappeared. Like it happened one day and then the next is not spoken about, right? So how are you supposed to handle situations when you're older which are like happening every day? Because one day you can think that, okay, I'm not going to think about this, but then the next day you wake up and it's still there. It's like but it's still there. So I think it definitely has a huge impact. And siblings also, because when you're like, a relationship with a sibling is way different than with a friend, because if your parents are acting a certain way, you always have someone else to turn to. You're not just alone in that situation. And just being able to go to someone else who's living in the exact same place as you, with the exact like parents and like same like history, and you don't have to explain every thought of yours to them because they already know, is so much more comforting. And you don't even have to say so many things half the time because like they are feeling the same thing. So it just like makes you feel more pacified and like makes you feel like less aggressive, because you don't have to say everything out to them, and they'll just know and they can understand. They can like give you a different perspective in a way that you will understand better, because you also know that they know everything. It's not biased or anything. So it's way better that way.
That makes so much sense. Okay. Have you ever been in a rare one-off event, a kind of traumatic experience in your life?
Not really.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Why do you think it's important to maintain good mental health? Or health in general?
Yeah, I think it's very important to maintain good mental health because it affects everything you do. Even like the smallest of tasks can get like swayed by your mental health. It's not just the word mental health, it's just your well-being in general, like how you are as a person in general also can affect so many things. Because if you're in like a really bad state, then no matter what you do, you're not going to give all of yourself to it. You're not going to have motivation, you're not going to have any kind of energy, you're not going to have any need to do that task. But if you're like towards bettering yourself and you're working towards getting help and you are getting help, then you are putting yourself in a better position. So you're trying to make yourself better, and by doing that, you're motivating yourself to do so many other things, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing things you would have never done before, or even like the tasks you have done before, just trying to do it better than you've done before. So there's like, you can have so many different mentalities, and each kind of mentality will just change the way you act. And it'll just like happen like throughout the course of your life, because you're not going to have the same mental health all your life, right? In the beginning you can have like a really bad time, and then later on you'll improve, and then maybe it'll become bad again, it'll improve, it'll be bad. But you just have to know that you have to improve at the end of the day, because you can't give up also. Because if you give up on yourself, then nothing else around you is ever going to become better. You can't just wake up and decide that no, I'm done with this, whatever happens will happen. Nothing will happen then.
Exactly. Okay. What does the word love mean to you as of today?
As
of today.
Oh my god, I just watched Kal Ho Na Ho. I think love can mean like a lot of things, and like a lot of different things to a lot of people. But to me, I think just being comfortable with each other, to like be able to share every opinion and every thought of yours without having any like not backlash, but without feeling insecure about what you're feeling, is like a big part of love. Because I'm open enough to tell you how I'm feeling in every situation, and open enough to just give all of myself to you, and know that nothing bad is going to come of it, then I really do love you. Whether it's a friend, it's a boyfriend, it's a family member, it's anyone. Just the whole concept of us having that kind of a connection where there's no sort of distrust or dishonesty, to the point that I can literally give all myself to you and you won't hurt me in any way or harm me or like tell anyone else to that point also, that I'm trusting you enough to give all of myself to you without having fear in the back of my mind somewhere. That if that fear is in the back of my mind, then I know that I don't really love this person, or I'm not like there yet with this person. So definitely that's one of the big things.
That makes sense. Okay. Do your friends play a part in your mental health on the long run, short run, in general?
Yeah, I think they do, because like I said, the people you surround yourself with, whether family or friends, they do make an impression on who you are. And if something's going on and you're not even able to talk to your friends about it, then who are you supposed to go to? They're the ones who are supposed to be there for you. They're the ones who are supposed to like be your safety net and be the ones who like help you come back to like a better place. And if you can't even turn to them, and you can't even turn to your family, and you don't have anyone to turn to, then you just turn in yourself and you have nothing to do then. And the whole concept of having someone who's not like forced to be with you, like like siblings aren't forced, but it's like in a way they're forced to be friends with you because you're right.
Yeah.
But just having someone who actually genuinely like likes you and wants to be with you every day and wants to talk to you and wants to discuss how you're feeling and how they're feeling, just that kind of a connection can mean so much to someone, because that then you're not alone, not lonely in that sense. You're not alone. You have someone in this world that truly does care for you, and it's really important that way.
Makes sense. Okay. Who is the person whose advice you take the most seriously and why?
I think my sister. I'm pretty sure it's my sister because she's, like I said for the third time, I'm saying she's very different to me. So like she provides me with like a very different point of view, because I'll be looking at like whatever problem or situation I have at hand from like my own like four walls like that are surrounding me, and I'll be like, no, this person is wrong. How can they do this to me? Like I never did anything wrong. This is that. And then I'll go and I tell her, and she'll just like show me this whole different perspective and whole different point of view, and I'll just be like, I never even thought of that, and I never even could have thought of it in that way. So like she doesn't like make me feel bad for not understanding either. She like explain it to me in a way where I understand what she's saying, but she also doesn't hurt me like by like being mean to me or like being irrational about what I'm feeling. Like she validates my feelings at the same time.
That's amazing to find that in person. Okay. What are few of the things you have understood in these teenage years in your life till now?
In general.
Yeah, understood in general about people, about you. Anything you would like to, tell us? Like obviously there are a lot of things you understand in this span of time. But what is something that's resonated with you like the most? Or like affected the most?
I think like I said before, I used to think that everyone's constantly judging me for every little move I make, and I'm always under like this security camera, and someone's like analyzing every single thing I do and stuff. And when like as you grow older, you just realize that people don't really give a shit about you, They actually don't really care about you, and it's just how it is. Because when you think about every person you cross in the hallway, you don't think about what they're wearing or what they were talking about or what they were like, how their hair looked like or this or that, and like I used to think that that's happening to me all the time. And so when I realized that it's actually not, I became so much more comfortable with who I am as a person and like what I actually like to do and what I don't like to do, that I stopped putting unnecessary pressure on myself, which people weren't even putting on me. Like it was just me who was putting it on myself for like no goddamn reason. And like, being in COVID, you spend so much time with yourself, like an unhealthy amount of time with yourself, that you kind of just like become more like cocoon, and you realize all the different parts of yourself, whether it's good or bad or this or that. And you just realize so many things that you wouldn't have if you were constantly thinking about how other people were looking at you,
Yeah.
So I think that's one of like the biggest things that I've understood, that nobody gives a shit about who you are. Literally.
You are your most critical judge always.
Yeah, like I'll be like thinking that, oh my god, these earrings don't match my outfit, but nobody is even looking at my freaking earrings. I'm the only one who's looking at my earrings, and it's like dumbest shit ever. But I used to like just spend so much of my time doing all this unnecessary thing, or doing all these unnecessary things, and focusing on all these like unnecessary things which don't even matter, but I could have been like actually focusing on things which matter.
Yeah.
It's just,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your aspirations for the future? Like, just out of the blue.
Aspirations. Oh my god. Okay. I think as a person, I definitely want to learn how I can like express myself more to like other people, new people, because I like become really comfortable with a few people and then I'm like done and I'm like, okay, I don't need to find anyone else.
Yeah.
These are but like, you know, thinking of college and thinking of like actually going out into the world, I'm just like, I've sort of become like lazy that way. I don't put in enough energy
Yeah.
or like talk with anyone. So I think that's definitely one of my like things that I aspire to become more open and like let down my guard with more people
Mhm.
for like a lot of things. And like in a more like academic way, I guess, I like aspire to like obviously become successful. That's major. And like, you know, just being able to stand on my own 2 feet and not like requiring that much help from my parents or like anyone else, just like being an independent person. Because even though I'm like in boarding school and everything, I'm not that independent yet. I just don't think I am. So definitely being independent and responsible at the same time is
Okay.
something I aspire.
Okay. Last question. No, wait. What do you think are the two most concerning issues teenagers go through in the world? Like from the list. Just name.
I think like peer pressure, obviously,
Yep.
and yeah, self-esteem issues. They both go kind of hand in hand.
Yep. They
I
do.
think yeah, those two definitely. Because you know, you think of how everyone is thinking and then you put yourself down, and then you think of how everyone's thinking and then you put yourself even lower, and it's just not a good cycle to go through.
That's true. Okay. Last question. What is something you'd like to tell a teenager like you who is going through a rough time in their life? You don't know what they're going through, but like, words of encouragement help a lot.
I think if I could just tell them one thing, I would tell them that, you know, it will get better as long as you want it to get better. That's the only thing. If you don't want to become better and if you just don't want to help yourself, then your body will not help itself, your mind will not help itself. Nothing's gonna be different if you just go through the same thing every day. You have to break the cycle. You know, even if you're in a very depressive episode and you're just going through something really, really sad and really bad, but you know, I don't even know, you just have to tell yourself that after one point, set a date, set a time, set some task you have to do, something you might not be doing otherwise, and just go do it. Just push yourself. That's all. Because otherwise, like I said, if you don't want to make yourself better and if you don't want to help yourself, then no matter how much therapy you go to, no matter how much of medication you take, your body itself will not want to help itself. It's just how your subconscious or conscious will work. I think.
Okay, we're done. Hang on.